is players too.
Good morning, good morning, and good morning. Welcome to the next episode of Girls Are Players Too. I am the mom.
And I am the cool, loving daughter over here.
Okay, and I see the cool loving daughter. The you done got light bright over there, huh?
Yeah, they call me Pippi Longstocking or Wendy. I guess the girl from Wendy's. Yeah, just changing it up a little bit with the summer.
It's super cute, super cute.
Thanks. Thanks.
So I see your weekend was fun, huh?
Yeah, it was okay. It was all right. Some changes happening over here. But yeah, not too much happening. I'm not gonna get carried away, because you on parental duty out there. So
Yes, yes. It was a good weekend. Good weekend. Weather was beautiful, so had to take the little one to church.
yeah, praise him.
Right. She got in the pool, so she certainly is. She living her best life out here.
As she should. As she should.
All right. So as we get into our episode for today, we do have to acknowledge a couple deaths that happened over the last few days. Frank Layden, who was coach with the Utah Jazz, general manager, he passed away, 93 years old. Certainly a long history with the Jazz organization. And a lot of tributes were coming in. I think Magic Johnson, had posted some tribute to him. But one of the things that they noted, his claim to fame, in addition to being named Coach of the Year, which he was the first Jazz coach, first and only Utah Jazz coach to be named Coach of the Year, was he was integral in bringing in John Stockton and Karl Malone. And, that was a duo for the ages for the Jazz organization. So shout out to the Utah Jazz organization, and certainly extending condolences to Frank Layden's family,
Absolutely.
to the Jazz organization, NBA in general. So for sure, wanted to make sure to acknowledge that one.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we know how impactful John Stockton and the mailman, that was his name, right? Yeah. The
Yes,
mailman.
yes.
And Karl Malone. So huge, huge impact to the league. So yeah, condolences for sure to that family.
Another one is Louis Sharp. He was a football player, and he played for the St. Louis Cardinals and the Arizona Cardinals. He was with that franchise in his career, but obviously it changed locations. He was a Pro Bowler, certainly made an impact in the league, and he was 65 when he passed away. But when we read up on him, he had some challenges,
Yeah.
some drug issues during his playing
Incarceration.
career, prison time. But one of the things that I thought was so awesome was he was able to turn his life around, got clean. He and his daughter, Rebecca, ended up becoming ambassadors for the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame program that they have with the Pro Football Hall of Fame that aims to positively impact the health of former players and their communities across the country. So while he certainly had some challenges in his life, he became an ambassador to aid and help those who may be struggling with situations in their lives. So it's good that, when even though people overcome things, that they're able to give back in so many ways, and he was still able to be impactful for the NFL. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Because, when you talk about athletes who are in that sporting world or whatever their profession may be, and they have some struggles, it's just always good to know that they're able to give back because they have that lived experience. So they can relate, they can have conversations, and just sending condolences to the Sharp family. But I'm sure his daughter will keep things going, in his for his legacy and his name. But right now in the world today, substance use and all of that is a huge topic. So it's really big that they had that going, prior to his passing, and I'm sure, like I said, it'll continue. So yeah.
Okay, so what else happened over the weekend? Oh my goodness.
Weekend recap. Bim, 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 bim.
Okay, so we finally crowned champions for Wimbledon in the
Yes.
singles, because obviously doubles and mixed doubles that all took place as well. But oh, okay, they got cleaned up real quick. They didn't put a
Yeah.
picture out already. Okay. Um, the women's championship, the players were Iga Swiatek and Amanda Anisimova from the United States, and that was on Saturday.
hmm
The match started 8 o'clock out here, 8 a.m. Pacific time, and it was over by like 9:05. I mean, it literally she won six love, and I felt bad for Amanda because she had such an incredible tournament, and I think that stage was just too big for her because I mean she didn't score, like she didn't win a game, so it just yeah.
Yeah, you say you feel bad, but I think that's how champions are made. She needed that stage so that she knows exactly what to expect. I mean, because I'm sure people did not expect her to get to the finals. So it's like she surprised a lot of people. She exceeded expectations, but now it's like, okay, I made it to the finals, so I know what this feels like. I know what this loss feels like. I know how to prepare and all of that. So I want to give some praise and credit to her because yeah, while losing may not, it may suck, and we've heard of Iga's name a lot. So it wasn't like she lost to just some Rudy Poot tennis player, but yeah, I mean she had some competition. So just shout out to Amanda, but Iga definitely redeemed herself from that French Open, to get this, to crown herself as the Wimbledon champ.
Well, Iga, they say that in any time she's made a final, she's won. So she's
Mm.
6-0 in her finals. So
She like Jordan in this
yeah,
in
yeah,
this.
exactly. If she can get to that point, she usually wins. Um, and it just, I guess for me, because when you get to the finals, like you just truly believe that that's the best. And the way that she was dispatched, it didn't feel like that was the
mm.
best.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't take away the name she was taking to get to that, because
Right.
she beat some pretty significant
Yes.
athletes along the way. So congratulations, Iga Swiatek. We move to the next Grand Slam for the women would be um, the U.S. Open. But
Yeah.
before we move to our next topic with tennis is Yannick Sinner. He defeated Carlos Alcaraz for the men's championship, and these two, they've kind of created this new rivalry,
Uh-huh.
because they went head to head in the finals for the French Open, and Carlos won that one. So this was kind of Yannick's revenge tour,
Mm-hmm.
and he got him. So he won, and they were good matches, but of the match itself, he beat him 6-4, or if he was down, he lost the first set and then won the next three. It's like 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. So it was good to see good tennis. But like we said, in this era, there is so much more competition that it's hard to say who's gonna win. Like
Yeah.
when Nadal and Federer and even Djokovic were going against each other. Those were the three names that it's like, okay, one of these are
Who's
gonna
gonna get
win.
it?
But
Yeah.
right, so yeah, so Shout out to Yannick Sinner. And so
Yeah.
again, next it's U.S. Open. So the Grand Slam is Australian Open, uh, French Open, Wimbledon, and the U.S. Open. So we got to get the Americans. We got to get
Gotta get
them
them back
ready because
on
yes,
track. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just give it up for both of them. We gonna give a hand clap because that's huge. And I mean, you talk about the four Grand Slams. There have been different champions for each Grand Slam thus far. So come on, Americans. We gotta get ourselves back on track for the U.S. Open starting
Yeah, because
late
Madison
next
Keys,
month.
she won the Australian Open, and then Coco won the French Open, and
Yep.
now Iga has snuck in there for the Wimbledon. So but the U.S. Open is ours. Like it's
Yeah.
in New York.
It's
It's our. It's
yes.
our. It's on U.S. soil. So
Gotta rep the states. Come on now. Come on. So, when we talk about tennis and just all the changes, the competitors and all of that, back in the early 2000s, late 2010s, the Williams sisters had things on lock. Well, it's interesting because Venus is trying to, I don't know if she's trying to bring herself back in the fold or if tennis is just something she's done for 40 years and that's all she knows. But she's been invited to a match or out in DC, and I'm just she's 45.
Brittany, when I saw that, I'm like, she didn't retire. Like, I mean, and again, if you believe you can do it, you obviously you want to try, but it's like, how much tennis has she played? And because it's a lot. It's a mental game,
Yes.
especially as an individual sport.
Yes.
So it's like 45 years old certainly is not old, but
No.
as an athlete competing at the highest level, that is, I mean, as we say, you getting long in the tooth. And so her invitation was a wild card because she clearly is not ranked because she's not
Mhm.
playing consistently.
Mhm.
But you do, I guess, have to acknowledge that she still believes that she can do it. She was plagued with injuries prior to last year and because I think her last invite was in 2023.
Yep.
And then she got hit with injuries. So it's like, and that's what you don't want. You don't want an athlete's career to be derailed or to end because of an injury.
Yeah. And when we talk about injury back in 2010, 2011, she was diagnosed with Sjogren's syndrome, which is an autoimmune disease that causes joint pain.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting, like, that was 14 years ago. And
Right.
so just time, father time.
Yeah.
You get older, like life happens. So it's not even athletic things happening. It's just life happens. And so, I'm interested to see how things go for her. I'm excited for her because like I said, this is her sport. Like she's not known for much outside of tennis, all the things that she's done and accomplished in tennis. So it's one of those like, this is all she knows. So why
Well,
not
she
keep
she
trying?
actually has been pretty significant in the fashion world because I know she has interest in some fashion entities around the world, and she just got engaged, so she's getting
Okay.
married. Yeah, yeah. So she's supposed to be getting married to an actor. I think it's an Italian actor. So
Ooh.
she's certainly been doing some stuff outside of tennis. But obviously that we know her because of her sport. But we'll give a shout out to Venus because, like I said,
Absolutely.
for her to for her to be trying to make this comeback. But I'm just one that I want to go out gracefully. I want to. I want my pomp and circumstance. I want
Yes.
you to know that this is the last time I'm playing in this event or whatever. And I certainly don't want it to be because I was hurt that my
Yeah.
career is over. So,
Yes.
well, we move on to MLB. So, the All Star Game festivities started yesterday.
Mhm.
Um, Today is the home run derby for Major League All Stars, and then the game itself is tomorrow. But while this was happening, Major League had their draft. And what's interesting about this is I feel like this is the only sport where the draft is happening during the actual season.
Mhm.
But baseball is different because they actually draft a lot of players directly from high school.
Yes.
Directly from high school. So it was no exception yesterday that the number one pick went to the Washington Nationals, and they picked a hitter out of high school, Ethan Willits, and so it was kind of controversial because people didn't know if that they were going to take him or this pitcher from UC Santa Barbara, Tyler Brenner, who went number two to the Angels.
Mhm.
But when I looked at baseball's number one picks, because of course we're really connected and dialed into basketball with the
Yep.
NBA. But I was like, who have been number one picks for baseball? And I was like, who are these people?
Yeah, when you talk about that, because I too looked at the same list and I'm like, a name that stood out to me was Bryce Harper back in 2010. I was in high school. So, mind you, this is 15 years ago. So, Bryce Harper, we're in 2025, and I know the one that resonates with me or I'm familiar with was 15 years ago. Now, when you brought up that because we hear that a lot of leagues have changed their regulations of when people get drafted, you got to do a year in college or, all of this now. Right out of high school, I don't know these people. Like, I am from one state, and these athletes, congrats to them because y'all are getting signed or, drafted right out of high school. And we know with baseball, y'all making some money. It may not happen right away, but it's just to hear out of high school, that is wow.
Yeah.
But another pick that I saw for number one draft pick was Alex Rodriguez, which was 1993. So I was just like, who are these people? But it was good to like at least look at the list to familiarize, like, okay, this person was a number one pick. Very interesting, like very far removed, but it was good to just kind of bring it back and see who those number one picks were.
Yeah. And like Paul Skenes, who was the number one pick in 2023, he's a pitcher, and so he's relevant because his name is out there, and we know who he is. But again, when some of these players come from high school and they're drafted, many of them actually don't go directly to the majors. They go to the
No.
minors or their AAA teams. And so it takes a while for some of their names to actually resonate with the fans,
Right.
because they're not playing right away. But like I said, I think that should be our homework assignment. Maybe we need to just pay a little bit closer attention to baseball, because now that I'm looking at these names on this list, I want to know, are they still in the league? Are they
Yeah.
still playing? Like,
Relevant. Hmm.
did they get moved from the team? Because like you said, Alex Rodriguez, 1993, drafted by the Mariners, but his claim to fame was, he was a big name with the Yankees. I mean, he certainly, I don't remember him playing for the Mariners, but so again, I'm gonna challenge myself to learn more about baseball. That's my goal for 2025 is to finish this year looking at many of these players, especially since the 2010s or 15s, to see are they still around? Where are
Right.
they?
Right.
Let's do it. Let's do a where are they now type something.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. So you'll see us check in ever so often because we're like in the second half of the baseball season. So we'll
Correct.
just come up with like, okay, so how's that assignment going for you?
Correct. Correct.
Who have you found to still be around and relevant in
Right.
baseball? But just want to give uh praise and props to the number one draft pick for the MLB season.
Ethan Willits, Washington Nationals. So as we move into drafts, because the draft is 2 days, so yesterday and today. And there's a lot of players that get drafted in
Mm-hmm.
baseball, a lot. So it's kind of like the in NFL, 200 some
Yeah.
people get drafted, so it's a lot. But the NBA draft that happened back in June, now these players are playing in summer league,
Yeah.
and it's funny because we talked about Bronny James and Cooper Flag, the LA Lakers, Bronny James, Cooper Flag, number one pick this year with the Mavs. They played last Thursday. So when we were on our broadcast, we kind of did a little commercial to acknowledge their game. And Cooper Flag's team beat the Lakers, but neither one of them played like
No.
incredible. Like Cooper Flag was
Mm-mm.
like 5 for awful.
10
Bronny actually
points.
scored the first 5 points for the Lakers and then like didn't score anymore. Like I think he finished with like 8 or 10 points. But it's summer league, and that ticket was like the highest selling ticket in summer league history. Like people wanted to see that game.
Yeah. It's because of the name. Because of the name. And we know LA is a huge market, so you got a large market and a name. And you got the number one draft pick. I mean, that's like a triple win for anybody that wants to be in the stands. I mean, you could be cheering for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but it's just the name and the teams that were playing. Yeah. And so you talk about with it being summer league, the number one Cooper, I don't know if it may have been nerves, like it's his first time or whatever. He had 10 points, so his showing wasn't the best, but so that was Thursday. Saturday, Cooper Flag number one and the number two Dylan Harper played against each other. It was like night and day. Cooper had 31 points. I mean, the showing was incredible. And so it was a good bounce back for him. And I think because now the Mavs are talking about shutting him down for the rest of summer league, so it was good, just to gauge where things are. And that showing against the Spurs was great. Well, it was good to see he bounced back, and now it's like, all right, you're done. So what is your thought on them shutting him down, for the rest of summer league? I know he's the
Well,
number one
I
draft
mean,
pick, but
like summer league is truly like exhibition games for
mm-hmm,
people trying to make teams. And obviously, the number one draft pick, we want to see him play, see what he can do. But he's gonna be in the rotation for Dallas, right? So a
absolutely,
lot of these, so it's like so shutting him down makes sense. As a fan, you want to see him, see what he can do. But he's not playing against the top level
right,
athletes in the NBA. So again, for him to have the game that he had was like, all right, yeah, we can see, yep. And so you shut him down. A, you don't want him to get hurt. B,
right,
you need, I mean, because some of these summer league rosters have like 18 players on them, and some of these players are third and fourth year NBA players that
Yeah.
maybe went back and forth. They were two-way players in the G League or whatever, or they've been in the league for 3 years, but they're not getting a lot of playing time with their current team. So their teams are like, okay, let's put you in summer league so we can get you some runs and get you
Mm-hmm.
some game experience. So I'm not disappointed, because unfortunately, it's gonna happen. But the Dallas Mavericks, they need to see who else they have,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't be surprised if they shut Bronny James down, but they may need him to keep going because, he's a second year player this coming season, and he still can't get out of the shadows of that's LeBron's son. It's like he needs to make a name for himself with his skill more so than what that's his dad.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna make a little sound bite. So, because y'all know I'm good for foreshadowing. The only way that I think Bronny James will make a name for himself if he's not with the Lakers.
Oh well,
I know it's not possible. It may
not
not
this
be
no, not
possible,
this year.
not this year, but he's going to be under that umbrella or that shadow. His dad is still in the league. He's on the same team with his dad, so it's just like, yeah, what do you expect? It's Bron's son, or so maybe, maybe. But yeah, so if you haven't tuned into Summer League, I watched quite a few games yesterday. Miami, Cleveland. I know Orlando played yesterday, so it was just some good basketball to watch, just to see what the talent is looking like. So check those out. It's going on for few more weeks of the summer, so you still got some time to check out the new talent and those who have been around, just to see what things are looking like. So yeah, but when we talk about just athletes and sports and all things, the ESPYs are this week. It's happening this week, and it is a big, yeah. I'm gonna stop and cheer for that one because this is a moment. It's like the Grammys or like the Oscars for sports.
Yes.
It's a night for athletes to be like acknowledged and loved on and just shown so much gratitude and love for the sports that they're in. um it's exciting. You got athletes that are being nominated for like best play or best athlete or best, all of this, and it's so exciting. It happens Wednesday this week, the 16th. And Ma, I just what's your thought on the ESPYs? Because I love the ESPYs, how they
Well,
show up
I
stylish
mean,
and
I'm an award show person, period. Because I do believe that you need to acknowledge people, especially in their
mm-hmm,
craft. Um,
mm-hmm,
but what's funny is like Shea Gilgis Alexander. He just won uh, NBA championship. He was MVP of the league, MVP of the finals, scoring champ. Well, he's
yep,
actually in contention for best male athlete and or best athlete in men's sports, and he's going against Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, and it's like, okay, that the NFL was like 6 months ago, right?
17
And
years ago.
so it's like, when do people vote? That's my question, because
Yeah.
Shea just happened uh a month ago, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so now it's like, when did they vote? So, and then who's voting? Now that's something
Right.
that I do want to know. Like, with the All Star game, the fans get 50% of the vote for the starters, and then the coaches and the players weigh in and whatever. But and then the media has percentage. So I'm curious to know who the voting, how, because like Simone Biles, um, Sydney McLaughlin, she's
Yeah.
there for women's sports, and this is from the Olympics from last year. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know like I said, I'm just curious to, because do you get do you have voter nostalgia because it's like, oh yeah, Simone, but that was from last year. So how do you remember? And then if a
Right.
newer athlete like let's say Coco Gauff, because she won the French Open, if the voting happened right after that, will she get it because it's
Right.
topical?
Yeah, that is an interesting thought. Because you don't know. Like I homework, the voting process of the
Yes,
ESPYs.
yes, yes.
Because when you talk about the NFL season or anything that happened last year, like the season for football ended February, and at that point the NBA was just getting to the All-Star break. So it's like there was still 4 months of basketball happening. Football's done. The Olympics happened at that point, like 8 months prior. So yeah, yeah, we'll check in on that one. Uh huh. So when we come on Thursday,
We can tell you the winners,
we'll
right?
know.
We'll know who won.
Yeah, we'll know who won, and maybe a little more insight into how the voting happened. But
Okay.
if you are interested in that, just seeing who the best athletes are, were over the last year and all of that, check it out. Check it out. It's usually a great night in the sports world, for the acknowledgement of the athletes and the things that they do. Yeah. So, everyone, we've been talking a lot about sports as of late, and we are like culture gurus around, like when it comes to music and things in fashion and all of that. And so today, just going to today we are going to give acknowledgement to those who have gotten married, who are just getting engaged, just living life. So, the first one we have here, Jordan Love. Now, he's going first because that is our quarterback with the Green Bay Packers. Yes, we'll give it up. We'll give it up. We'll give it up. He and his wife, Ronika, please correct me.
Ronika
Ronika
Stone, yes.
Stone. Okay.
And she's an athlete
They
in
they
her own right.
Yes, they the newlyweds, they married about 2 weeks ago at
Yep.
at this point. So we just want to give some congratulations to them because this is a new life that they're leading. I want to bring to the fold now. Coco Jones and Donovan Mitchell got engaged over the weekend. Now, we know how media is. My mama was like, "Is this real? Is this happening?"
Because nobody
It is.
knew, like, and then they said they've been
It's
dating for
been
2
quiet.
years. Like, what?
It's been very quiet. I mean, we know Coco as a Grammy nominated singer, and we know Donovan Mitchell. He's the point guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So they've done their part to keep things. I don't want to say on the hush because we've known they were dating, but when you
I
talk
didn't know
about
they were
private
dating.
life,
I didn't know they were dating.
well, they've managed to keep their relationship private, for them. So congratulations to these two. I'm going to bring up another one. We know Pat Beverly as just a menace
Yes.
on the
Yes.
basketball court.
Correct. And he found
But
himself out the league this year. So he played
yeah,
overseas this year, but so he got engaged also?
he got engaged to his, as you see here, longtime girlfriend, Mandana. Mandana. I'm sorry, y'all. But congratulations to Pat. Love is in the air, and I don't know if it's just the summer months happening or just happy things for all of you. So this next one is interesting. She's my fellow Aquarian, and we know her as the hot girl, Meg the Stallion, and Klay Thompson, I guess, made it Instagram official. I don't know.
Okay, but
But
why you okay, I see it, but we can't see her face because there was another picture of her sitting on the pool at a poolside
sitting
and
at
he
the
was in the
so
background.
yeah, but when that picture came out, we didn't know exactly because people sit by the pool and you got people sitting. So it was speculation at that point. Um, but if y'all know Meg Thee Stallion, y'all know this is her. Okay, I'm just going to say that. I mean, they made it official. I mean, there are some other pictures where their faces aren't in the camera, but I mean, he's in Dallas. He's in Dallas, and she's a Houston native. So at some point, their
The
lives
stars are
cross
aligning for
paths.
them. Okay.
Yeah. So it happened, and we people can talk about how people move on and how from a rapper to a athlete and this and that, but we're here for this. It's summer. Have fun. Enjoy. And Clay, enjoy. Enjoy.
Yeah.
So, so this last bit, and I want your take on this first, Ma, before I give what I think is happening here. So we all know of the situation with Drake and Kendrick Lamar and all of that. So you look at this picture. This visual is there was a headline that Drake got his LeBron tattoo covered up with a Shea Gilgeous Alexander tattoo. I'm gonna pause there. What's your take?
Well, I think excuse me. I think what we first have to acknowledge is Drake is a huge NBA fan. Huge. He's from
Absolutely.
Canada. So he
Yes.
was following the Toronto Raptors and courtside seats and yelling at former players or whatever. But he's a huge, 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 huge NBA fan, and he had this tattoo of LeBron James when LeBron was in the high school that LeBron played for. That's
Yep.
his. That's the tattoo that he had. Now, when Kendrick Lamar and Drake was having their beef last year, which was going back and forth, and everybody's, oh, did you hear? Oh, did you hear the diss track? Did you hear whatever? And They're Not Like Us came out, and they basically said that shut it down. Like Kendrick won, okay? And then you see LeBron is like, he's in LA, so of course, he's all things Kendrick Lamar, right? Well, DeMar DeRozan, who's from California as well, but played for the Raptors, Drake was a huge DeMar DeRozan fan. He was in the video for They're Not Like Us. So it's like all these people start gravitating towards Kendrick Lamar, and Drake is like, wait a minute, y'all was with me. Like, how is this what? And so now Shea Gilgeous is Canadian, and
Absolutely.
and Drake actually had a song in a documentary that LeBron had, and he in the song he said he references LeBron. He has since changed the lyrics to that song,
Yeah.
and now he's covering up a tattoo. But my thing is, I guess more than anything, why would you have a tat of another man? Like, and it's not his face or whatever, but still, like, you represent another being, not your
Right.
mama, your kid,
Right.
your dad, your grandmama, even your chick or something, I guess, but another male. So that to me is where it's like, Drake, maybe just stick to Canada, if you want to rep your country, not give it, because you're going to be covering up a lot of stuff if your fallouts happen in this manner.
Right. Soft is what I say because now he's going to say, "Oh, Shay's Canadian, I'm Canadian, blah blah blah. I'm repping for the home, blah blah blah." And it's like, no, you salty and you soft. That's it. That's it. Like you that hurt. I mean, we can't enjoy music for what it is. Like so, Brian and the DeMar DeRozan, that one I understand. I mean, he from Compton, so he all the way. But Brian, I mean, he liked the song. Great. Okay. So yeah, but like you said, to have another man or anything of symbolizing another man, it's just like, yeah. And then to get it covered up, it's soft. Cause now it's like you having a tantrum or a hissy fit.
Correct,
Come on now.
correct. And again, but
So
I am a Drake fan, you know, so and
me
certainly
too.
They Not Like Us was a hit, and give it up to Kendrick. He was Super Bowl halftime act this year, so certainly did his thing to get his name out there, you know, but I am just a music lover. I love music. So this
Yes.
beef, you know, that you have to pick a side, that to me I think is kind of overrated. Like, why can't we just enjoy both, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I did see this, I was like, okay, like I said, I'm not against tattoos, you know, whatever. I got a couple, and I'm fine with what I have. They represent me in some capacity, but you know, like I said, they represent me, you know, but when you go
Mm-hmm.
to the lengths of acknowledging another being that's not your mama, your dad, like I said, that to me is where it's like, come on. But you know, people do what they want to do. It's art to
Yeah.
them. It's symbolic to them. So shout out to Drake, I guess. I'm just happy that
Yeah.
he's touring again because I love his music. So
Listen, if y'all know me, like for real, outside of this podcast, I am a Drake fan to a T. Like going all the way back.
yeah.
So it's no shade or anything. It's just come on. Like you on a run, you had your run and you know, Kendrick did what he did. Okay. But that does not take away from you, Drake the artist, ever. But this all of this, yeah. We can go without that. So um
And
well
on that note, I think we probably need to wrap it up because we could continue to talk all things pop culture.
yeah.
Real quick, shout out to Christian McCaffrey and his wife Olivia Culpo. They had a baby. Yes, her name is Colette
Yay.
Annalise McCaffrey.
Sorry,
Yes, little
what was the name?
Colette Annalise. Yes,
Oh, that is
McCaffrey.
adorable.
So that's a cute, cute name. So
Yeah.
excited for them next chapter in their lives. But we just gonna keep it. We'll keep it going. This one a little longer than we like, but we just had a lot to talk about. A lot happened over the
Yeah.
weekend. So
Yeah.
continue to like us, share. Girls are players too. We're having a ball. We will see you on Thursday. Britt, enjoy the red top. I love it.
Have a good day, y'all.